Hey, what's going on everybody? Meister here. Welcome back to Manor Lords. And a brand new patch has just launched for the game, and that means we need to start a new city. Unfortunately, old saves are not compatible with the new version of the game. You can still access your old saves, but some of the new features won't be available. So, we weren't too far into our last playthrough, so I figured might as well just restart it and explore all the new features that are included in this patch, which from what I've read, it seems to be pretty packed. So it appears that everything is relatively the same as far as creating your new civilization, I guess we'll call it, except we have a couple of new portraits to choose from. So I believe this girl is new, maybe this guy here, and I think this fella in the armor. Not really sure, but for this playthrough, I'm still going to be selecting the same one as in our last game. He looks pretty French, as I'm going to be continuing with the whole Acadian theme, thus my name up here, Timotheus. It's kind of a medieval version of my name with a little bit of a French spin on it. This makes no sense in French, but I just thought it was kind of comedic, so I'm going with it. So let's hit continue here. Everything is going to remain default, except I'm changing the end goal of this game from domination, which is the default, to none. Now, I want to treat this game as more of a city builder as opposed to an RTS, and plus, I'm usually a pacifist when it comes to any kind of strategy game, such as Civilization, for example. I usually go for like a cultural victory as opposed to attacking everybody to dominate the map. So let's hit begin here. Let's jump into our new game and see what we've got. So we're going to be exploring all of the new features that are included in this new patch. So I'm pretty excited to dive into it. All right, so we're in our brand new game here. I'm quickly going to pause and zoom out, and let's see what kind of resources we have. So this is a new feature in this new patch, shoal of fish. So it's basically like a little fishing pond, and we can now fish in the game. And it appears that this is a seasonal resource, so I imagine that in the winter this is going to freeze over and we might not have any fish, or maybe we might not have as much. Not really sure what's going to happen there, but that'll certainly be interesting. And additionally, okay, it doesn't look like we have any on this tile, but oh yeah, over here we now have a new resource, which is salt. And from what I understand, not only do you now have to store your food like you did in the old patch, but you have to preserve it. And the way you do that is by drying it out with salt. Now, I haven't read too much on this. I'm not really sure how this mechanic works now, but I imagine that certain foods we're going to have to use salt to dry them out. Unfortunately, I do not have any on this tile, but we do have two really good deposits here, iron and clay deposits, which are really good. So actually, oh, let me check. Do we have fertile land as well? No, we actually have some pretty terrible land, not really fertile at all except for rye, so we're not going to be growing too many crops. So most of our food intake is likely going to come from these animals and fish, so a lot of meat people will be eating. So here's our spawn here. Now I'm gonna hit play and let's start building. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is store my food in a granary. So let's do that. And actually, you know what? No, maybe not yet. I think I'm going to do a storehouse first. So let me just cancel this, and we're going to need a source of food. So gathering, let's build a hunting camp right over here. And then how is this going to work? Oh, a fisherman's hut. Okay, I guess it just needs to be built nearby. So I don't think I'm going to build that just yet because my resources are very scarce at the beginning of the game. And one of the very first things that we're going to want to do is solve our homelessness problem. So what I'll do here is build some burgage plots. Now, do I want to build them close to these resources? I think over here, actually, in this open area would be fine. So let's start us off kind of like this. We'll have like a weird lot shape.
Come along, lad.
There, let's start us off with that. I don't like to build grids in this game, guys. You know, this is a medieval simulator, I guess we'll call it. And grids were not really established at this point in time. So I like to build in a more kind of haphazard way. There, so we'll get some burgage plots going. What else do we have here? Okay, so I probably do have to build a granary after all. So, oh, but we don't have enough goods yet. Actually, you know what? I am going to demolish this building, which will leave us 2 timber. Is that enough to build a logging camp? I think so. Yeah, we should be good. And I'm going to build it over here, far away from our wild animals, because if we start cutting down trees over here, then these wild animals are not going to work anymore. So I'm gonna build our logging camp here. So let's speed up the simulation, and it should be fairly quick to get all of these things built because we have 5 people assigned to construction at the moment. So we should be off to a pretty quick start. And you know, I might actually prioritize the logging camp just so we can start gathering resources as quick as possible. So just got a new message in here, probably from I've heard of your renown. I only seek to defend my rights and my honor against those who would wrong me. So that's basically the adjacent kingdoms here that are writing to me. I'm just curious, how many lakes or fishing ponds are there on this map? So we got one over here that's occupied. We got one here that's free. And I have one over in my corner. And, oh, is there only... Wow, there's only 3 salt resources on this map. That's crazy. Hopefully, we're not going to require too much salt for preserving my food. All right, so these guys are building away, prioritizing the logging camp. We just need 2 lumber, and our lumber's right here, so it should be fairly quick. And as soon as this is done, I'm going to assign a family to it, and then we're going to start collecting wood. And my first priority after that is going to be building enough burgage plots for everybody. So then we'll eliminate homelessness in our camp. So I'm going to assign a family here and basically just wait a couple of minutes to collect some timber. All right, our storehouse is complete. I'm going to assign a family. And our burgage plot, our very first one, is on the verge of completion. We have all the required resources. We're just waiting on folks to finish the construction. And there we go. All right, so we actually got both of them complete. And do we have any lumber in our storage? Yes, we've got a few planks, so let's go ahead and build our granary. And yeah, I'm gonna plop it right over here, right close to our food stockpile, so it should be a quick job to transfer everything over. And how much money do we start with? We start with 50 gold. Let's start off with some carrots on this burgage plot. So that's going to give us an extra little food boost, and it'll also build some additional market stalls when we actually establish a market. And you know what? Let's do some eggs as well. Let's do that. So how are we doing in planks? 2 timber. Let's just wait a couple more minutes until we start collecting some more planks, and then we'll effectively end homelessness here before the winter. I mean, it's only March, so we should be okay. Boom! Our granary has just been complete. I'm going to assign a family to it, and meanwhile, I've been collecting some timber. So, I think we may have enough for a couple of extra burgage plots. Let's see. Oh no, it looks like not enough supplies. So we are quite low on food at the moment. Yeah, I haven't really considered that at all. I totally forgot that I had a hunter's camp over in this corner. So we're going to quickly assign a family to it to start hunting for food. Totally forgot about that. I was so concentrated on building. But that's okay, because hopefully we'll have enough resources here to build a couple of more burgage plots. We have enough for 2 more. We have 5 timber. And I think it's 2 per burgage plot. So we just have to wait a few more seconds, and then we should have enough. All right, 3 more. So that should effectively end our homelessness situation. And I've made these burgage plots quite large, so they should have a pretty good yield. And all right, there we go. So the hunting has begun. In terms of fuel, we're still doing okay at 7 months. We're going to want to keep that up because the winter is going to approach eventually, and we want to make sure that we have enough heating for to survive that. So let's build a woodcutter's lodge, just so we can maybe get a head start on that firewood. All right, guys, we have ended homelessness. Everybody has a beautiful home here in our new little establishment. And oh, we're getting a new message. What is this? Armament delivery. Oh, okay, yeah. So essentially we can form a militia for when the bandits start attacking, or, you know, some of these external kingdoms or whatever. Okay, so now that we have eliminated homelessness, we've also gained a skill point or a development point. And let's see in which direction we are going to go with. So let's take a minute to explore all these different options. So we can either go into kind of trade, which looks like this might be an option since we don't really have too much food resources on this map. This top tree here has everything to do with agriculture. Our map location is not fertile at all, so we're not going to explore any of that. On the left here, it appears, oh, we got beekeeping. We can do honey, forest management. We don't have any berries, so we can avoid that. Advanced pond keeping. What does this mean? Doubles the maximum capacity of all shoal of fish in the region. Additionally, workers are able to cut holes in the ice of a fishing pond. Oh, wow. Okay. So that is probably a really, really good contender. What else here? Trapping enables hunters to skillfully lay traps in the forest, which gives a passive income of meat. Okay. I like this because we do have some hunting grounds. However, we don't have an excess of them. We don't have like a super resource of wild animals. So I'm worried that by developing this skill, we're just going to run through our animals resource too quickly. But we do have, you know, a pretty hefty pond population. It's seasonal, so it should grow back every season. I think I'm going to want to explore this, but before then, let's take a look at our bottom tech tree here. What can we do? Basic armor making and charcoal burning. Might be useful in certain situations, but I think I'm going to go with this advanced pond keeping. Let's do that. Now, hopefully, is this its own thing, or is that going to allow us to move further up this tree? I think it might just be its own thing, but that's okay. So with that being done, And with us having 6 timber, I think we should go ahead and build a fisherman's hut right over here down by the lake. And sooner rather than later, I think we're going to dip above the 50% approval rating, which means that we can probably start to get some additional families to move into town. And I'm noticing something new here. Some of the textures appear to have changed. I don't know, does this have anything to do with the fertility? It doesn't look like so, but I'm noticing like these really rich green spots all over the map that didn't appear to be there before. Maybe they were, maybe it's just me tripping out, but just something I noticed. So yeah, I think I'm going to preemptively build a couple of more burgage plots because we also need the room for when these new folk want to move in. I'm just going to keep them at medium priority. We'll get to them whenever we get the chance. But yeah, eventually we're going to need these new homes. And look at that, our little homelessness encampment is gone. So we're looking good, guys. We're off to a great start. I would say only thing is we're a little low on food, a little low on fuel compared to some of the other starts that I've had in this game, but we still have all summer to get caught up, so I'm not too worried about that. Wild animals, we've almost gone through all of them, but that's fine because once this hits 10 out of 20, that's normally where I like to stop. Maybe 8 out of 20, but I'm afraid of the wild animal population to go too low and it just doesn't replenish. So I'm going to stop at 10 out of 20, and I'm going to move this family over to the fisherman's hut once it gets completed, and then we'll start fishing. So I don't have a rich deposit of fish, but I think 704 fish is still a pretty healthy population once we get there. So we'll see how long that'll last us. But it's kind of nice that we have a rich deposit of iron and clay, which means that I can probably export some of these resources because I'm certainly not going to go through them all in the early stages of this game. So it's probably a quick way to make a buck in this playthrough. But right now my priority is to get this approval rating above 50% to get some more people moving in, and then we're really going to start to see an increase of activity in our little village. So yeah, this just needs 2 timber. Our ox has quite a commute to collect some wood and back, but this should get built in no time. And there we have it. We're at 10 out of 20. I think I'm going to keep going. I think if I go advanced here, wild animals per herd, let's do 8. Just to push things a little further, just to collect as much food as we can to survive the year. All right, guys, there we go. Look at that. Brand new fishing hut is complete. And look at that. My wild animals are down to 8. So I'm going to remove the family here. I'm going to replace them into the fishing hut. And it doesn't seem like the population of fish is growing, but we'll see. We'll see how long this lasts. So it's not a very far relocation. Uh-oh, I'm running out of fuel. Oh, crap, guys. That is certainly because I have nobody assigned to my woodcutters camp. So I'm going to... How much? I got 10 timber in storage. I'm not building anything at the moment, so I'm going to remove the family from the logging camp, and I'm going to reassign them to the woodcutters lodge just next door. And that should keep us going. So you really got to min-max sometimes in this game, early game, because you don't have an infinite amount of workers available to, you know, manage all of your different buildings necessary for survival. So the only thing that we got going on now is our 2 burgage plots. So hopefully when those are built, it's going to raise our approval rating. I think we'll just have to go to the next month, and then this little -2 homelessness debuff should go away, because sometimes, you know, people, so, you know, the resentfulness kind of lingers for a few months, you know, but that's eventually going to clear up, and then we'll be doing all right. So we're okay for food, 4 months of food, you know, we're collecting fish. Oh my god, we've already collected 10 fish out of the pond. That's pretty cool. You know what? With that, I think it's probably time that we build a market. Nope, not a trading post. Where is this? Industry? Or is it? No. Logistics, pack station, hitching post. Where is the marketplace? Here it is, marketplace. And I'm thinking of building it like right in the middle of town. That's probably a little too big. And that's probably fine. Let's do that. This is going to be our little marketplace right in the center of town. Let's build a road around it, and then we can build some more services around here as we expand. Oh, look at that. We already have a firewood stall. So that's some pretty good timing because, of course, people are going to need to come and collect their firewood. But I'm kind of playing a dangerous game right now because I'm not producing any lumber. I still have 11, or timber, sorry. I keep getting them mixed up. Lumber, timber, planks. It's too many wood types. But anyways, yeah, we got 11 timber in storage. But I assume I'm going to quickly go through that because of all the firewood that the town needs. So I'm just going to have to like bounce this family back and forth from the Woodcutter's Lodge and the logging camp until we get some new people to move in, which I think should be pretty quick. Probably once we jump into August, I think this -2 debuff should go away. How is our storehouse doing? Still have plenty of room, and our granary. Oh yeah, we're way good. We're pretty much just gonna be living on meat the whole winter. But that's okay, you know? That's how it was back in the day. There was no McDonald's drive-through, you know? I've also just renamed our region to Acadia, so that is a bit more appropriate for this playthrough. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay, our market food variety is offsetting some of this homelessness, so we should be above 50% once it hits July here in just another moment, I assume. The months are pretty short in this game, so it should be fairly quick. And bam, there we go. Okay, we have 2 stalls now in our market, so that is enough to offset the -2. So we got 2 empty burgage plots here. It's just a matter of time before we get some more people to move in. So at this point, I think I'm going to wrap things up right about now, guys. I think we're off to a very fair start. We got a healthy food reserve, healthy fuel reserve, and if we keep things up, we're easily going to be able to survive the winter. You know, we're collecting our food resources. We're doing all right. Maybe next episode, I would like to set up a trading post to start making some money, maybe out of our clay deposit and our iron deposit. I know it's still a little early game, but you know, the quicker we can start making money, the easier it's going to be as our town expands. You know, we do want to develop some of these burgage plots, and until we get some more money, we're not gonna really be able to do that. So that is going to be it for me. Good timing. We've just got a auto save, which is nice. So that will conclude this episode. Now I gotta say thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this episode and you're excited for future Manor Lords episodes, drop a like, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think, and certainly don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So again, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.